Welcome everybody to another week of Sports Talk with the views from the 573 podcast. This week's show is sponsored by Anchor, the best way to make a podcast. You'll hear about them a little bit later on in the show today. You can find us and our other channel entertainment from the 573 on Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, or wherever you guys get your podcasts. Be sure to go subscribe to all those platforms. Keep up with all the notifications coming our way when we upload podcasts. Also check out our YouTube channel, Podcast from the 573, where you can listen to the YouTube version of either views or the entertainment shows. Be sure to go subscribe to that channel, like our videos, press the notification bell to keep up with all the latest action from us. So with that said, I am one of your co-hosts, Ryan McDaniel. Joined alongside by me this week is fellow co-host Peter Lewis, and we're bringing him back, Matt Mormon. How are you guys doing?
I am doing pretty good. I can't complain too much. Happy to be back on the show for the first time in a little while now. I took a nice little break there.
Yeah, it's about a month-long break, but hey, we held our own, and we're back together.
Need me, it's very much just a Johnny-come-lately every once in a while to dunk on some points here.
Well, in the case of today's show, you're here for the meme of the show.
That's true. I am here for a very specific reason today.
Yes. Everybody, if you don't know what that reason is, it's Herm Week. It's Herm Edwards Week. So, if that's any indication, we are doing the Pac-12 today for college football. Next week, we're going to be diving into the non-conference the General 5 teams, the Notre Dames of the world. We'll also talk a little bit about SEMO. And on the NFL side of things, we are doing the NFC West. We're going to be doing all of them today. We're going to talk a little bit about Dak Prescott with the recent news coming out about him. And we'll also be doing an MLB review since it's been a month since we did our last review around the All-Star break. So now is as good a time as ever to do a review as to what's happening in the world of baseball. But a couple stuff off the top here. Quick little thing. We talked about the NCAA rule last week, the agent rule, where they put out the criteria of how you can be an agent in the NCAA. They've changed that now. You no longer have to have a bachelor's degree, just as long as you're certified. They say you should be good to go. So, I guess the NCAA caved in here.
Yeah, I mean, which kind of does surprise me, because usually when they mess up or have controversy, they just kind of just go with it and just move on. I am kind of wondering what the reason for changing this time around was. Maybe there's a financial deal on the side that we'll never find out about. Who knows? Conspiracy theories, all that. But again, like I said last week, I prefer these players just to be paid outright what they're worth. But hey, we're somewhere now, and now that we can have, the agents that should be working with these kids, unheated. So that's all I really got to say about this issue.
Yeah. It was a crazy thing to talk about last week, and now that this it's somewhat resolved now, and so now LeBron and Chris Paul can stop getting angry about being called the Rich Paul rule. So there's that. Next, off the top thing, the NBA schedule came out yesterday or Monday. I can't remember which day it was, but it came out, and we have some notable matchups here. Now, Peter, since you're a Toronto Raptors fan, you're gonna love this first game.
Always happen.
Yeah. The first Toronto Raptors game is against the New Orleans Pelicans. So you guys are going to get the first crack at Zion in the NBA. How about that?
Peter, will you be in attendance?
I'll try. Might have to get a passport. Or just, walk across the border. I can't imagine the Canada-U.S. border is that, stingy.
It's not like Mexico.
Well, Matt, I guess, forget Drake. Peter is the real ambassador over there.
You have to realize there's like 3 layers of irony here. We're the Toronto Raptors, the team the wheel landed on for me, thank God, facing the Pelicans, the team I wanted to land on.
Yeah.
Who also have Zion, the reason that I decided to not be a Knicks fan anymore. That's kind of just Does the NBA listen to this podcast as well?
Well, hey, listen.
Does what's his face as the commissioner listen to this?
Well, I mean, he might. I mean, we have his number now. Thanks, Michael Porter Jr. for that.
Good for Michael Porter Jr. At least he's doing something now for the NBA.
Yeah, he gave us his phone number, his email. Thank you, Adam Silver. Thank you, Michael Porter.
That's who his name was.
Yeah.
I wanted to say David Stern, but I knew he was gone, so I didn't want to look like an idiot.
Yeah. So now, Peter, if you need to email him to get you tickets for Raptors games, you go right on ahead.
I mean, I got Drake. That's all I really need.
Yeah, that's true. So a couple other games of interest throughout the season. A couple homecoming or nice little revenge games. You get the Boston Celtics at Charlotte Hornets. You get Kemba going back to Charlotte. Let's play a little game here. Is Kemba going to be booed or is he going to be cheered?
Booed. NBA fans are very bitter over things like this, I feel like.
Well,
yeah, I'll say boo.
I think he'll get some cheers. I definitely think he will. Because, I mean, he did stay there for as long as he can. The Hornets are in no man's land. Can't really do anything going either way except staying in the middle there. He's going to be coming back to Charlotte. I think he's going to get a few cheers. Matt, you are right. The NBA fans are bitter. But I do think the Charlotte fans, I think they're kind of accepting. Like, this is what had to happen eventually.
Yeah, I mean, Charlotte's a small market. I do feel like small markets tend to be nicer when you leave, as opposed to, like, the New Yorks, the LAs of the world. But at the same time, I don't know. I kind of feel like any time a superstar leaves a team, there's some bad blood.
Yeah. Now, speaking of bad blood, here we go. November 27th, the Brooklyn Nets at Boston Celtics. Kyrie Irving's return. It's all going to be booze.
Super booze.
This is all the booze. You have Boston, which is already kind of a, boo town in the first place. Then you got a guy who didn't exactly know the best terms.
He's going to get Ciampa turning on Gargano booze.
Oh, my. Those are some big boos.
That's a lot of booze.
That's a lot of booze.
Also on November 27th, Anthony Davis goes back to New Orleans.
That could be cheers. I feel like there's not as much bad blood there.
Yeah, especially when they're kind of still in a good position.
Yeah, thanks to him.
I think it'll be a mix, but I think you'll overall hear kind of cheering. Maybe indifferent, but not, all booze.
There's always going to be those fans that will be on both sides of that. I think there's always going to be some fans who are going to be happy with it. There's always going to be some fans who are going to be, no matter what, you left us, boo. Like, shoot, I went to the Angels and Cardinals game back in June, right?
Yeah.
And you would be surprised how many people, like, there was very loud ovations, right? But you'd be surprised how many people I heard from who are still mad at Albert Pujols for leaving St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it is surprising and kind of incredible and kind of sad just how many people were really still that upset.
Yeah, I couldn't hear any boos because the overwhelming majority of it was cheers.
And it really wasn't anybody that was at the game with us or around us that was unhappy with it. It was more people we talked to after the fact or beforehand.
Well, I don't think this guy's going to be getting any boos. On December 11th, Kawhi makes his return to Toronto.
Oh, I thought you were going to say San Antonio. You sure there, Ryan?
Well, listen, Peter's going to be standing first row. He's going to be cheering Kawhi.
He gave us a championship after waiting for so long. My long wait finally ended. And, it was, let's be real, it was a one... of all the teams that wheel could have landed on.
This makes me so mad.
But in all seriousness, he was kind of more of a one-year player. I'm trying to think of the best term. Kind of just an enforcer for a bit.
It was a rental. They knew it was a one-year deal when they got him. And they knew they would have had to really woo him and, do everything they could. And they did everything they could. And it still wasn't enough. And that's okay. They knew heading into it that it was a one-night thing.
I mean, even for most rentals, you don't end with a championship, so...
Right.
So, yeah, they got the better deal here. He'll get a good reaction. And, of course, the camera will go to Kawhi, and he'll just be like, what's going on? Why are they cheering?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
that's
the
true.
championship.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, there is one game I forgot. It's personal to me. Mike Conley makes his return to Memphis on November 15th. I think it's ESPN. Cheers.
Well, he'll obviously get booed.
Yeah, it's obvious, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah. Mike Conley in Memphis. Oh.
He just...
I didn't know who that was. So I didn't know how to joke.
Well, here's one guy that you'll know. Russell Westbrook.
Hey.
He's making his long-awaited return to Oklahoma City on January 9th. It's going to be cheers. I mean, he stayed the longest.
Yeah, and he got traded, too. It's a little bit different there.
Well, he demanded it, right?
Right after Paul George demanded his.
Okay.
Yeah, like, I don't blame Russell. Like, at some point you kind of get fed up and you just kind of... It's time, you know? And with Russell, it was time.
Yeah. So, I think it's going to be cheers.
What if, as they're cheering him, he takes off his shirt and reveals a Supersonic shirt underneath?
Well, then... I don't know what the reaction of Oklahoma City would be.
They probably don't even... In fairness, people of Oklahoma don't even know where Seattle is, so...
A game that's going to be fun is going to be... I don't think it's going to be the first game, but it's on MLK. The Pelicans, Grizzlies, Zion versus John Morant on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That's going to be fun. Another kind of weird game. Well, although KD's not going to be playing against it, Golden State and Brooklyn. Well, I'll tell you what, D'Angelo Russell is coming back, so I think it's going to be some cheers for him coming back.
I don't think D'Angelo Russell's going to like elicit a reaction there.
Well, I will tell you what, he did help them to bring him to a place where they could get Kyrie and KD.
Great. Him leaving opened up cap space. Let's cheer that
guy. I would.
I got a feeling KD will be on the sideline just staring at Golden State the whole time. Just like, you guys did this to me.
Well, I don't know when KD's going to be coming back to Golden State, but what do you think the reaction is going to be when he comes back and he's sitting on the bench?
I think it'll be cheers. They're retiring his number, for goodness sake.
Yeah.
Which, that's still ridiculous, and I'm still bitter about that, but whatever.
And lastly, the last game I could think about, Marc Gasol, he's going to be coming back to Memphis, I think, in March. I think he's going to get cheers.
Super booed.
I would say so.
Super booed.
No, Peter, that's Pal.
Oh.
No. I wouldn't even say that. Pal would get some cheers, but
Pal just wouldn't elicit a reaction.
That could be. That's fair.
He's been there many times. Like, he played for the Spurs.
Yeah. Well, I would be saying if this was a big a thing as it was when he got traded, I think it was immediately after he got traded to the Lakers, he's getting booed.
Probably.
But like after letting it some years go by, I think they slowly start to come around. They cheer for him. It did bring a mark. Yeah. So those are some of the interesting games on the NBA slate, guys. Some of the interesting homecoming / revenge games of the NBA season. So we're only about I guess a couple months away from the season starting. So NBA season's not going to be here before long. So everybody get ready for that. And now on to the main topics for the show. MLB review. It's August 14th, the day that we're recording this. We last did it during the All-Star break. So, guys, where are we at in the Major League Baseball right now?
Well, now, I don't know what's scarier. The Fiend or the fact that the Mets might make the playoffs all of a sudden? Well, let's start there.
So, I did not hear... Did you guys do a trade deadline recap?
Yes.
What was kind of the reaction to Marcus Stroman going to the Mets?
I was more or less joking how, it's like, I want to go to a good team. And it's like, okay, we'll send you to the Mets. That was my reaction. Because
I mean, I think the entire world had that same reaction, basically.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what, though? Good for the Mets. I'm rooting for the Mets here. I hope the Mets make the wild card and go on and win the whole freaking World Series.
Oh.
I want this to happen because I think maybe, just maybe, that would help kind of break the shell we've been in where nobody wants to compete, no one wants to trade for anybody unless you're legit, unless you're the Astros, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else is willing to trade away prospects for anything. And the Mets are sitting here. I believe there were 6 games out of the wild card at that time. And now they're sitting here. They're now 2 games out. They've cooled off just a hint. They've lost the past 2 games now. But still, I applaud them for not selling Zach Wheeler, even though they probably should have, and competing but trading for Marcus Stroman. Like, good for you. Go for it, man. Go win.
Will the sports gods allow 2 worst to first stories in a year, though?
Well, the Mets weren't a worst to first story, though, because you had the Marlins in the division.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a given, though.
Yeah.
Like, the Mets look, let's say, hapless to first.
Sure. A out of nowhere come storming in and win the whole thing. Probably not. Like, I wouldn't put any money on the Mets winning. Like, I wouldn't even necessarily put money on them making the playoffs. But I would love to see it. I think it would be good for the sport of baseball, good for sports in general, because I feel like every sport right now is kind of having this either tank or compete. There's no middle ground mentality, which I agree with, by the way. I think that is kind of the way you should go about it. If you're stuck, the Cardinals are stuck in this purgatory right now where they've missed the playoffs past 3 years, but they also haven't been under 500, and so the farm system dries up, but you didn't actually accomplish anything, and you just kind of sit in this weird middle area. And right now, they've got the second wild card spot, and it wouldn't surprise me if they missed the playoffs again. So
yeah.
And the Cardinals sat on their hands at the deadline, which I couldn't believe, because they took the division lead the day before, and they just sat on their hands at the deadline. They didn't bring in anybody, and they have not looked very good since since the deadline.
No.
And
but
they are in competition though right now. They are in the hunt for the division and the wild card for sure. I just think like the Cardinals' offense kind of stinks, and the pitching outside of Flaherty, I'm not sure how much I trust at all. So they're kind of in an interesting situation.
Yeah, Flaherty's been on a tear.
Flaherty's been unbelievable. I just traded for him in fantasy, thankfully, and he's gonna.
Hey.
Hopefully, he leads the Slam Lamb Ding Dong to a championship. That'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, the Cardinals are weird because they called up Rosarina.
Yep,
and didn't start him because I guess Matt Carpenter is, I don't know, has dirt on Schultz and all of them.
And Tommy Edman must also, because they continue to play this utility guy every day, and they have him hit second every day, and it is vastly infuriating. Yeah, because you bring up Rosarina, and they also brought up Lane Thomas, who's one of their top prospects too, and they just like refuse to play these 2 kids, and they keep on giving at bats to guys who aren't really doing much for you. Like, Tommy Edman's been a fine extra bat, but he should be playing every single day, and he is.
Yeah. So taking a look at some of the other teams, of course, the Dodgers, Yankees, they're the first 2 teams to hit 80 wins. The Astros aren't far behind. We're coming down the stretch here, guys. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be interesting, especially seeing how the wild card races are shaping up, especially with the NL. We briefly talked about with the Cardinals and the Mets. Taking a look at it, like, even you can take a look at even the Giants. They've had somewhat of a surge here recently, and they're only 4 games back of the Cardinals.
Division-wise, it's pretty split because the AL East and AL West are pretty much decided, as is the NL West, and then the rest are still pretty open, especially the Central. Indians are starting to make that comeback. I say focus on the wild card for now, especially the NL, because in terms of the American League, I mean, it's pretty much Cleveland, Tampa, Oakland, and that's pretty much it. Unless Boston can make a real good surge here, which I
Yeah.
doubt in their division.
Well, but I can't rule out Boston because of how much talent's on that team, though.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only a month and a half left, so they've really got to kick it into hot gear right now. But it's got to happen right now, or else it's not good. They're running out of time.
Yeah, and that's where I'm kind of just like, I don't even think we should focus on them too much anymore. If there's any team that can surprise, it's going to be them. I'll give you that.
Yeah, if there's any team, like, I agree with you, Peter. When you're 7.5 games out at this point, you shouldn't be a thought. But a team with that much talent, I can't entirely rule it out yet.
I agree, but
Like, the Reds are 7 games out.
Look how talent. Yeah.
And I'm not even thinking about the Reds, right? The Padres are 7.5 games out of the NL, but
Yeah.
they've also have a lot more teams to jump.
Best say, yeah. The NL as a whole, I think this is how it always goes. The American League's just pretty much locked in the NL's just, all right, everyone has a chance.
Yeah, especially the AL, it's very top heavy, right? Like, we kind of joked, I think, from last year to this year, it's going to be basically the same exact teams.
Yeah.
And I think for the most part, it's pretty much shaping up that way. But, you know, it's so top heavy. There's no middle class in the American League.
Yeah.
You should say there's a miracle going on. Baltimore is not the worst team in the AL.
Poor man, Detroit is so bad.
Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing.
Who would imagine the Miami Marlins would be better than both of them?
Hey, flashback to the MLB preview. I believe I said the Marlins weren't going to be a complete laughingstock, which they kind of are. But
Well, there's a certain team that borders the Allegheny and Ohio River, as well as the Mongolia, that's really giving you a certain new look into how you can collapse after an All-Star break.
you know, Peter, that same team has beaten the Angels each of the past 2 days, and they're currently beating the other team from Los Angeles 2-1 right now.
Uh-oh. Peter, there's hope. You guys are only 13 games back.
Hey, if you guys played the Angels every game for the rest of the year, you might be able to make a run.
Ironically enough, your Angels are 12.5 back. So yeah, Pirates and Angels not too close off. Although Angels are a little higher on the wild card list than the Pirates.
Well, and that's one other thing too. Look at the actual record here. The Angels have 58 wins. The Pirates only have 50.
Yeah.
And by the way, 2 of those just came against us the past 2 days. And that's one other thing too with the Cardinals, because I've heard, you know, because we're obviously very close to St. Louis. I've heard a lot of it going each way. And one of the guys at work, I won't name any names because he's actually in front of the camera guy. He is very optimistic on the Cardinals, and I keep on kind of poo-pooing them. And part of my point is that, okay, sure, you're in the second wild card spot right now, but your offense is, you know, laying eggs every night. And by the way, your record, we talked about how the Red Sox are having such a bad year, right? Oh, man, they're 7.5 games out of the wild card. Man, what do you do if you're the Red Sox here? The Red Sox have a better record than the Cardinals.
Yeah.
I guess actually, technically, it's worse. They've just played more games, haven't they? So it's right there, though. They have 64 wins. The Cardinals have 62. The Cardinals have 55 losses. The Red Sox have 59. But either way, it's right there. And just because you're in the NL and you're kind of fighting in this division that no one's broken away from the pack, you know, you're still alive.
Yeah, I'm looking at the winning percentage. It's only 10 points higher right now.
Like I said, the Red Sox have played a lot of games. Holy cow.
Yeah. I guess that's what playing in London will do to you. I don't know.
I guess. Yeah.
But I guess continue on with this wild card here. What do you guys think is going to happen here down the stretch as we're getting close to the season being wrapped up here? I know we'll have one more preview to do, and then we'll get right into the playoffs. But I guess let's get some early thoughts on what do you guys think is going to happen as we head down this last month and a half?
Well, I think for the AL, it's probably gonna. I think Cleveland makes it just barely. I think it's gonna be Tampa and the A's fighting toward the end to see who gets that second spot. NL wise, that's a whole nother thing. I'm riding off the Giants,
Yeah.
even though they're 4 back. Diamondbacks are surprising me 3 back, but I don't think they're gonna make it toward the end. So I'm kind of looking at, can it be a East and Central team, or is it going to be both from their respective divisions? And right now I about to say, especially on a new place of work, I'm getting mixed vibes on how they feel about the Cardinals. I think the Cardinals miss it.
I think it comes down to, between the Cardinals and Mets, which one's offense starts to click.
Yeah.
Whichever one of those two figures it out offensively, I think they've both got the pitching to do it, I think. I think the Cardinals pitching can hold up. But I think between those two teams, whichever team starts hitting makes it. I think the Nationals will end up with that first wild card. And I think if the Mets make it in, they can be really interesting in the playoffs because of those 4 starting pitchers.
Yeah, especially with the bats they'll be going up against. I think that's a good long-term strat there. Wouldn't it be just the greatest thing ever for the Nationals to make it and the Phillies miss it, and Bryce Harper just looks like a total...
Yeah, but Peter, he also gets to go look at his bank account.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
I don't mean to go total Seth Rollins there, but you know.
But hey, those Washington fans, they'll feel super vindicated.
Oh,
yeah. And I think we even said that when Harper signed, that because it kind of opened up playing time for Soto and Eaton in the outfield, that they weren't really going to miss him all that much.
No.
They were ready for it.
Yeah. So I guess is that all? Is that everything we have to talk about with the MLB?
I'd say so. It took a turn all of a sudden. Which
one other thing, the AL Central, the Minnesota Twins blew like a 16-game lead or something on the Indians, and the Indians were actually on top in the division. I think it was yesterday or the day before. Just Minnesota, they went from being one of my favorites in the AL to really make a run against the Yankees or Astros to I'm scared. And I like the Indians a lot right now. I tell you what, I really love what they did at the deadline with the Bauer trade. Especially because they've got some pitching coming back from the IL. So I like the Indians a lot right now. I think the Indians could be that hot team late. From the National League side, I'm still loving my Atlanta Braves. And I think the Atlanta Braves are going to win the World Series, just like I said they would back in February.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's looking good. I guess I should say, since there's a Pirates rant needing, if this was any other team that was 4-28 at one point after the trade deadline, someone would be on a cross outside Fort Duquesne right now. Okay? But because it's Bob Nutting, it's just like, yeah, whatever. But also I'm kind of realizing, what could the Pirates do if they fired Hurdle and Huntington? Like, who wants to go to Pittsburgh with Bob Nutting?
Nobody.
Like,
Peter
at this
Lewis.
point, if you're Clint Hurdle, you have the safest job security of any sports coach in any league in the country. Because you could do anything and it doesn't matter. As long as the bottom line is fine, you're going to stay there.
Peter, be honest. If they offered you the job, you would go there.
Oh, yeah. Because, again, I'd probably be safe for a while.
Hey, that job security.
Well, here's the thing, though. So, I don't know, because I don't know if I'm personally willing to relocate to Pittsburgh. So
that's
I'm
fair.
Not sure
Says the guy in Cape Girardeau.
Well, yeah, but Peter, at least here, people can kind of accept me as a Ravens fan. Like, could you imagine?
Yeah.
What if it came out that the Pirates manager was a Ravens fan? Then all of a sudden, no one's coming to the games, no one's buying merch, and all of a sudden my job becomes in danger.
You know, to be fair, Matt, you could say, hey, unlike the Pirates, the Ravens have won championships the past couple decades.
That's true. I know winning ways.
You have that. So I think and you know what? You watch Pittsburgh Dad.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love Pittsburgh Dad. Oh,
him and Tom have a pretty friendly relationship that goes the way you'd expect.
I do have one random Baltimore representative in Tom, don't I? He would have season tickets right next to my seat in the dugout.
Yeah. He's gotta take care of his lawn, you know. But yeah, I
haven't watched Pittsburgh Dad in a while. I need to.
He hasn't been posting that much as I've been seeing.
Well, it's not football season, so.
But I gotta say, if I was the manager of the Pirates, could you imagine those post-game interviews?
Oh, it would make.
It's like, what? We lost? Yeah, surprise, big whoop. Want to fight about it?
It would be the opposite of Herm. He was like, you play to lose the game because what does it matter? I'm the Pirates manager.
Oh, not even that. Just be like, listen, Bob Nutton told me the bottom line's looking fine this year. I don't have to do anything. We got a fireworks night coming up. All the kids will be out there. That's the Pirate solution for everything.
I like fireworks nights. Those are cool.
That's literally that's the only way people go to PNC Park. They just schedule a bunch of fireworks nights.
How in the world is the
say-
Pirates attendance not where the Rays games were earlier this year, Peter?
Because you're actually in a sports city, so I guess you kind of have to. You'll get curious people every now and then.
And they don't just have a beach you can go to, you know.
And I can imagine those StubHub tickets at PNC Park must be like $5.
Yeah.
Can't beat that.
So Bob, this is my resume on tape. I'll be the most honest manager you've ever had.
All right, so Bob Dunning, if you heard that, there's your new manager right there. Go and get him. All right.
In fairness, he probably does listen to this podcast because he's clearly not using his time to manage the Pirates.
If that's the case, thank you for giving us a listen, Bob.
Yeah.
All right, so with that settled, we are going to go into talking about Dak Prescott.
Forget Dak. Let's go to another disaster that used to be in Pittsburgh, Ryan.
I think it is fitting.
Transitions. We got them all here.
Peter, way to transition from something that we did, a commercial in between on.
Yep.
Way to really transition there. It's not like the people just sat through 90 seconds or anything,
Listen, at this point, what is this, episode like 105?
Yeah.
They know what they're getting into by now.
Yeah, if you haven't known what we get up to here. So, Peter, what's going on with Antonio Brown?
Well,
this is amazing.
This was great. And correct me if I'm wrong, because there's a lot of just stupid details I may have missed. Basically, the NFL has a new helmet. I think that's the best place to start.
Yeah.
AB was like, yo, man, I don't want to practice in this helmet. It messes with my peripherals or whatever that much. So the NFL was like, well, can't help you there, fam. He's like, Raiders, help me. It's like, what do you want us to do with the Raiders?
Go talk to Nathan Peterman.
Off topic real quick. Nathan Peterman, he can't throw an interception if he just runs the ball. It's pretty smart. And boy, that man can run. But see, anyway, AB was like, well, if I'm not going to be able to play in my helmet, I'm going to retire. And then everyone, because this was literally days after the whole, he froze his foot.
Yeah.
And now the whole world's like, oh, Hard Knocks just started, now AB's doing this.
Well, Peter, you skipped a part of this story, though, because I'm pretty sure that first it came out that just no one knew where Antonio Brown was. Like, before we found out that it was because of the helmet, the first thing to come out was just no one knows where AB is.
Oh, yeah, because literally, that was I think that started with the update. No one knew where AB was.
Yeah.
And then 2 hours later, I think Schefter, of course, was like, yeah, it's just as stupid as you would imagine. He doesn't like his helmet.
Yeah, but it was literally for like 2 or 3 hours, like, no one knows where Antonio Brown is at on this earth. Like,
yeah.
So basically, the way to look at this is AB just doesn't want to be at training camp. We know that. No one wants to.
Well,
no one would want to.
He is friends with Le'Veon Bell.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he can make friends with Nathan Peterman.
Great.
I mean, he can make a friend with him.
Ryan,
but
you realize that Antonio Brown plays offense, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of it.
Okay. I want to make sure, because if you bring him, he can make friends with Nathan Peterman. I assume you mean he plays corner.
Aw, poor Peterman.
If I could name you an Oakland Raiders corner, I would say he's probably good friends with Nathan Peterman. But their corners are so bad, I don't know any.
Well, here's something that reminds you of Nathan Peterman. 49ers quarterback Jimmy Garoppolo threw 5 interceptions on 5 straight attempts in practice.
Okay, but like we don't know what they were doing.
Well,
in practice, you try new things. You try new, plays and things like that.
well,
Whatever.
here's the thing. With Peterman, it doesn't matter what you throw at him. It's still going to be an interception.
Yeah. But like with the Jimmy G thing, I saw that too. But like whatever. Pay zero attention to that.
For Nathan Peterman, it happens.
Oh yeah,
that stuff happens.
Nathan Peterman did it in a game many times.
So yeah, basically it was either he didn't want to jump a training camp, or he realized, oh, I'm on the Oakland Raiders. I don't want to play, so I'm gonna just take my money and go home. Well, turns out, if he didn't play a single down for them, he gets none of that signing bonus.
Yep.
So AB realized, oh no, I gotta play for the Raiders.
This is what happens when you pout your way out of Pittsburgh.
But
They're not
was
even.
hope. They're not
They're not even in Las Vegas anymore. Anyways, they're in Oakland. Oh.
There was hope. There was hope, guys. Apparently, there was a 2010 helmet that would be approved that AB liked. So he put out, like, basically a bounty. Basically, you find me this helmet, I'll play football. And guess what hero stepped up? 41-year-old Chad Ochocinco offered that same helmet on the condition the Raiders signed him to a contract.
I didn't see this, and that's beautiful.
Oh, the moment I saw that, it was one of those things where the condition was cut off. It was basically like, Chad Johnson will give AB his helmet, and I was like, oh, I know what comes after those dots. And I clicked that link like a happy 7-year-old on Christmas. And I opened that gift. It wasn't a transformer or something better. It was Chad Johnson wanting to play football at age 41.
How many years has it been since Ochocinco played in the NFL?
Oh man.
It was Buffalo last time, wasn't it?
Did he play for Buffalo? I only remember. I remember he signed with New England, but he got
no, that was Owens. That was Owens.
T.O. played a year in Buffalo, and they played the year for the Bengals.
Ochocinco's last season was in 2011 for the New England Patriots.
Well, he never actually played for the Patriots, though, did he?
15 games, and 3 of them were starts. He actually got caught a touchdown. Yeah.
Wow, I thought he got cut in training camp.
I think he bounced around on a couple teams in the CFL too.
Yeah,
and that was in 2015.
He also played soccer, I think.
I remember that.
Oh god, man.
This is what Hard Knocks needs.
There's a conspiracy in me that some HBO executive pulled AB to the side like, hey man, here's, I don't know, $50K. Be an a-hole, because we need ratings. Well, like they had ratings before because they were with the Raiders, but now they're getting ratings. They're getting WWF scoring a 9, while WCW is getting a 1.5.
I mean, let's be honest. Who still has HBO after Game of Thrones, right? So they had to do something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But guys, don't worry. The story did have a happy ending. Well, maybe a sad ending if you wanted Ochocinco back. He found the helmet. And yesterday around 1 o'clock, the Oakland Raiders Twitter, good to have you back, 84. With AB, a picture of AB clearly not happy at Raiders training camp. And so ends the saga of the AB helmet debacle.
It is only fitting it should end with that.
I hope this is part 1. I hope we get more. We will get more.
I hope they show this. I hope they show this in the frostbite foot thing.
You just have AB on eBay. Just like, all right, I hope this guy doesn't get me at the last second. I'm winning. And next thing you know, it's that last second snipe bit. He's like, I hope Ochocinco's on this next episode. I hope they send a camera to his house, wherever it is. And he was just like, yo, I can still play. And it's like, he's got like a rec league guy from the local YMCA throwing balls at him. He's like, I can still catch.
It's just if the YMCA guy is only throwing on 5-10 yards deep.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Moving on from AB to briefly talking about Dak before we get into our previews. So, me and Peter have talked about this. Matt, I think we'll let you get your thoughts on this a little bit more since me
Okay.
and Peter have talked about this. So Dak, this whole thing with the Zeke holding out, him and Cabo or wherever he is, or where's the cameras for that, by the way? That Dak reportedly getting offered $30 million, saying, "No, that ain't gonna do it, Chief. I want $40 million." And there's conflicting reports about it, but it sounds like everybody's saying, like, yeah, he said he wants $40 million. Matt, where are you on this? On the Cowboys in general, them paying these guys?
Well, first of all, I think Dak is a fine quarterback. I think he's pretty good. I really do. I think Dak Prescott's pretty good. And unfortunately, a team, let's just hypothetically say one that may have won the Super Bowl, immediately after paid their quarterback like he was the best quarterback in the NFL, and that kind of started a trend. And basically, if you're a fine quarterback, you get paid top dollar because you kind of realize that, hey, without that guy, you're kind of not competitive, right? Like, we've never really seen a team let a quarterback walk and have success, I think, immediately after. Unless they had like a ready-made replacement, right? Like Brett Favre. Right?
Oh, yeah.
But like, we haven't really seen a team just say, okay, we're going to let the quarterback walk after this year. We don't have any backup plan at all. We're going to go with whatever, Zach Mettenberger. Right? Like, we've never seen that. Even the Redskins, when they let Kirk Cousins walk, they went and got Alex Smith. I would be interested to see what it looked like if the Cowboys let Dak walk. If they paid Cooper and they paid Zeke. Because at some point your salary cap dries up. And I'm currently trying to find how much salary cap open they have for next year. I'm working on that, finding that number at the moment. But it can't be much. I can't imagine, because they've got a lot of guys wrapped up already. Here we go. I think that's for... Okay, here we go. $22 million open for next year at this time. I believe that doesn't include anything for Cooper, though.
Yeah.
Right? That includes, like, fifth-year option for Zeke. I'm not sure if that includes anything for Dak. Is Dak just a straight-up free agent for this season?
Well, the way I understand is that even if they can't get a deal done, which it sounds like Jerry and Stephen Jones, it sounds like they're fine with negotiating in season.
Sure.
But it sounds like it's kind of like a Le'Veon thing where like they can offer him the franchise tag after this year. And then I believe if they can't come to a deal after that, I think it gets to like the exclusive franchise tag, which you're paying him in like somewhere in the $30 million range. I think it's like in the mid-30s.
It becomes Kirk Cousins then.
Yeah.
It becomes what Washington did with Kirk Cousins. And that was very high-priced stuff. But it wasn't from one year to the next. No long-term deal. I think you're always better off getting a long-term deal done, right? Like, in general, there's obviously some scenarios either way. But I think you would like to have them wrapped up long-term. But, man, that's so much money. And I just don't see... them being able to fit Cooper, Zeke, and Dak under the cap and still being able to keep the other guys around. Like, you'll have to strip the team of everything else to do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worth it.
And they got some other good players. Byron Jones, Jalen Smith, Vander Esch. I know he's only in the second year of a rookie contract in the first round was 5 years.
He's got time, yeah.
Yeah, but eventually you're going to have to pay up for him because he's good. You do got some other players like that on there. I can't remember when Travis Frederick, Zach Martin's, Tyron Smith's contracts come up, but I'm assuming they'll come up within like the 4 or 5 year time period that these deals that they're offering for those guys
but
will
also
take place in.
Don't forget though, with an NFL contract, every year is basically a 3-year deal because there's guarantees that run out and they can get cut. Like right now, Zach Martin, Travis Frederick, and Tyron Smith, all three of them are locked up through 2023.
Okay.
I don't have it in front of me as far as when they could get cut for different reasons, but those are all locked up already. But that's the thing, with those three guys locked up, I don't see how you can keep all three of them to those deals while also paying Dak and Zeke and Cooper. It'd be tough.
I just saw this, and I'll throw this scenario out there. It becomes a little bit like, although there's some differences here, like the LA Rams and their situation with them paying a bunch of players like Peters, Sue, Donald last year, and having Jared Goff on a rookie deal. If you want to, and if you want to let Dak go and test the market, you can pay for guys like Zeke and Amari and all these other guys and go and get one of these top rookie quarterbacks coming out in the next couple years, like maybe a Tua or Trevor Lawrence. That way you can pay those guys and still have a pretty decent quarterback there. And not, I pointed this out, I think last week on the pod to Peter, where Dak is, I heard this analogy on FS1 where Dak is kind of like a Christmas toy, and he's the one that needs batteries, and Zeke is his battery. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Or like, Dak needs Zeke more than Zeke needs Dak.
I'm not entirely sure. I agree with that statement, but I'm not sure how much Zeke is worth without the best offensive line. Because the Dallas offensive line is fantastic. Like, if I have to pick two between Cooper, Zeke, and Dak, while being able to maintain the offensive line, I think I'm keeping Dak and Cooper, assuming I can keep the offensive line intact.
Yeah, and you know what? I agree with you. We've talked about this.
We've seen Joseph Randle play well. We've seen Alfred Morris play well. We saw, that year with DeMarco Murray. A good running back can still be very productive, and you can still run the offense you want to run. Versus if you get Blake Bortles back there, it doesn't matter if you have Ezekiel Elliott.
Oh, good old Blake Bortles.
But that's the truth, though. If your quarterback completely sucks, which, let's face it, unless you're willing to pay him at least like $15 million, your quarterback is going to suck. I mean, look at the contract Nick Foles just got. And that's just Nick Foles.
Yeah.
So, and obviously, if you can land a rookie and you assume that rookie's going to be good right away, which is a tough assumption, too, because you talk about Jared Goff there. Remember what he was as a rookie.
Yeah, that's true.
Remember what Carson Wentz was as a rookie. Remember Trubisky was as a rookie. These are quarterbacks I really, really like. But the quarterback position's so tough to find a guy who can be your guy, especially on the cheap. Yeah, I mean, you got to nail on that rookie if you're going to play that game. And that's a tough game to be in, because if your quarterback's not good, take it from a Ravens fan who said to Kyle Bowler, if you're, it almost doesn't matter what else you have, to an extent.
Yeah, and I'll point this out too. It depends on the coach too, if it's a rookie or it's a veteran.
That's true too.
And it's going to be interesting. And one thing we haven't talked about is they have a rookie play caller at offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore.
John, that's crazy.
That is crazy.
I remember him playing in college. I don't even watch college.
So that's going to be
State, right? Wasn't he on the blue field?
Yeah, he was that team that had that miracle upset against Oklahoma.
That's crazy. I'm so old.
No, wait, I'm wrong about that. He came a little bit afterwards, but that part's going to be interesting to watch. And if they do go that route, could they part ways with Jason Garrett? Maybe.
I don't know. Garrett, I feel like, has kind of earned a little bit of leeway with this past season, I think. And if he somehow navigates them through this mess, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Well, that's where we're going to leave it with the Dak talk. Let's go on into our NFC West previews. And you know what? Let's start with alphabetical order. Let's start with the team that had the number one pick this year, the Arizona Cardinals. Of course, bring in Kyler Murray, bring in Cliff Kingsbury as our head coach. This is an interesting team to watch, guys. And I did a little preparing for our predictions show in a few weeks. And I literally went through every team, all through their whole schedule, through every team, and picked all the games and who would win and lose. And that took up a bunch of my time. I think I had the Cardinals winning somewhere around 4 or 5 games.
I typically do that every year. That's a fun exercise to do.
It's fun, but it takes a lot out of you.
Yeah. And you're
It's
never
like- it's
close
like-
to being right.
Yeah, it's like, okay, oh wait, I forgot this team, and who did I put down for this? And also
You can do
the
that
fact,
on ESP well, we'll talk about that. Yeah. You already did
And
it,
the
so I
fact-
guess it doesn't need me to tell you about an easier way to do it.
and also the fact that we know we're going to get a tie this year,
Yeah, at some point.
which that's going to be fun to talk
if
about.
not
But
3 or 4 of them.
oh man, but Arizona. The interesting thing here is how's this offense going to work? They did draft 3 wide receivers: Andy Isabella, Hakeem Butler, Keyshawn Johnson, along with second-year wide receiver Christian Kirk. And also the big thing here is David Johnson and how he's going to be in this new type of offense. It's essentially a kind of, it might be a pass-happy air raid offense, but we know DJ can catch the balls, but it depends. Can DJ get back to what he was a couple years ago?
Yeah, and I love David Johnson. There's no question to me about how good he is still. I think he's still a fantastic player. I'm excited to see how they use him. I'm excited to see what this offense looks like. But also, so like one thing from what I understand, Ryan, and you two will know this probably better than I will. From what I understand, he wants to play very fast. And it reminds me of Chip Kelly, right? Where he wants to hurry up to the line of scrimmage and get the playoff really fast, right? And that's all well and good. But here's the problem. When you do that, and if your offense sucks, that means you have a very quick 3 and out. And that defense that was just on the field and hasn't really had a chance to catch its breath has to go right back onto the field again and continue to get torched. So I don't know. I don't think they're going to be very good. I think chances are that offense and Kyler, they're going to much like Chip Kelly. I'm basically telling the Chip Kelly story here where they're going to catch some teams by surprise. They're going to win a couple games early in the season just by gimmicking their way through it and surprising teams. But eventually, they're going to face a defense that's going to just stomp them and basically figure it out, and I don't think they're going to be very good.
Yeah. Let's not forget, Matt, they're bringing in one of your favorite players, Terrell Suggs, in.
Yeah, I love Sizzle. That's great, But, I mean, at this point in his career, Suggs is...
Yeah.
He's a third down pass rusher on a team where they probably won't be in very many situations where they force the other team to throw.
Yeah.
But it's good for Suggs. He gets to go back to Arizona. He went to a certain college we'll be talking about later.
Yeah.
So, good for him.
Yeah, the Cardinals, they're going to be fun to watch because you got Kyler, the Heisman Trophy winner. You got this new system with Kingsbury. It's going to be interesting to watch. I'll tell you what, I think Kyler's going to be electric. I do think some teams will catch him since they will have tape on him. But I think he's going to be fun to watch. I think parts of that offense will be fun to watch throughout the year. But some parts of it will just be bad, just horrible to watch.
Well, that's the thing. I think there's going to be some play because the offensive line stinks.
Yes.
The offensive line is so bad, and you can make the argument, well, Kyler's fast, he can get out of that, sure, but can he really sustain that offense where he has to run for his life every single time? I don't think so. And it only takes him getting caught one time and getting hit the wrong way one time, and he is so small. That's what the difference between him and Lamar. Lamar's a big, Lamar, he's not quite Cam size, but Lamar's a bigger guy for being that good of an athlete.
I think he's 6'3".
Yeah, like he's no, 5'10" Kyler Murray here.
Yeah.
So I'm worried about Kyler. I also don't think Kyler's all that good of a passer. I really don't. I've watched a few clips on YouTube of him, and it made me really like Marquise Brown. Brown bailed him out on a lot of plays.
Yeah. Peter, you have any thoughts on Arizona?
I guess the big thing is going to be with Kyler, because I don't expect this team to do much, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a development year. It's a rebuilding year. We know that. My worry with him is going to be the getting hit. Because, Russell, the other quarterback in his division, he's kind of made a career out of just running for his life.
Yeah.
But he's gotten used to it over time. Kyler, he's about to be thrown into that immediately. And let's be real, there's going to be a lot more big boys than you faced in college. Especially, and let's not forget, he's come from Oklahoma. the Big 12. There's no
Yeah.
such thing as defense in the Big 12. He's never had to deal with that before.
Yeah, no.
Well,
I mean, maybe the most recent defense he's had to fear for is probably from his senior year of high school.
well, and you mentioned you mentioned Seattle with Russell there. Also, Russell, they build an offense where it's very run heavy too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't forget that those years with Russell early on, especially, were very, beast mode heavy. And even though that line kind of stunk too, they did a lot of running, and so his runs were more design play actions with bootlegs, and there'll be some design runs from Kyler too. But Russell, when he had to be bootleg, but it wasn't like that was the main source of his running. Versus for Kyler, I'm afraid it will be. Where it's just going to be, I can't do anything else, let me run.
And something else I thought of as you were talking, Matt, because I kind of agree with you on his passing ability and his whole career, or I guess basically just that one season, was getting bailed out a lot by his receivers.
It really was. Like, I watched a lot of plays, and it was a lot. It made me love Hollywood Brown.
A lot. You know what you know what name that just reminded me of? It's probably the worst you could be.
Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Because that's who I thought of too.
Yep.
Where I fell in love with Mike Evans.
Yep. Now, the big difference is Kyler doesn't seem like he's a destructive human being like Johnny was.
Yeah,
clearly.
the personality seems very different. Kyler seems like a kid.
And he's going to the Cardinals versus, the 2014 or 13 Browns.
Yeah, there's a big difference there.
At least this organization seems to want to make a move in the right direction.
Yes, but at the same time, they just hired a coach who, again, you guys will know this better than I do. Like, Cliff Kingsbury, from what I understand, was not that good of a college head coach.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, no.
So, you say this. But this feels like a very Pittsburgh Pirates move here, Peter.
Yeah. The only claim to fame Kingsbury had in college was that he coached Patrick Mahomes.
So Patrick Mahomes is the new Sean McVay. You touch him, and you start the coaching tree.
Basically, yeah. So that's Arizona, everybody. Let's move on to the LA Rams, the team that lost in the Super Bowl, only putting up 3 measly points. And
a great game.
Oh man, so the Rams coming back this year, they don't have Ndamukong Suh, Roger Saffold, LaMarcus Joyner, Mark Barron. Some additions here. You do bring in Eric Weddle. You bring in Clay Matthews. Nice kind of homecoming there for him. You draft Taylor Rapp, and one of the big things here is you bring Cooper Kupp back. He's coming back off an injury. Really big for Jared Goff and for this offense. So, guys, the Rams made the Super Bowl last year. Is there a chance that they could make another run?
Yeah, for sure.
It's funny because everyone is downgrading them hard. Like I saw USA Today a while back; they had them at 9-7, which I thought was a little harsh.
Oof, that definitely feels harsh.
Like between sure, the big concern is Gurley.
Yeah,
because we don't know what that's going to entail.
Yeah,
Goff looked like he was on the next step to becoming elite, and then just really started to die down. And there's a lot of pieces that just yeah, and there's a lot of pieces that just kind of, are no longer there. So, and of course the schedule's going to be harder, but I still feel like this is a good team.
Yeah,
yeah.
Peter, I'm with you here. My concerns, yes, Gurley is big. And there's a chance that we are all overblowing the concerns and he's going to be fine. And we're all going to look like idiots for taking him in the second round of fantasy football drafts when he should have been the first overall pick. That is a very realistic possibility. There's also a possibility that, we don't know going into a game if Gurley's going to be fine or if he's only going to play 3 snaps in the first quarter and then not play again.
LA is just super silent about this. They're not giving any hints.
I don't know if they know.
Yeah.
I don't know if they know because in the Super Bowl he started.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just didn't play for half the game.
And this is part of the reason why they drafted Darrell Henderson in the 3rd round.
I think it is, but at the same time, I think Malcolm Brown is putting on the fantasy hat for one moment here, I think Malcolm Brown is the handcuff for Gurley.
Mhm.
I think Darrell Henderson is the fun toy, kind of like Reggie Bush was the '06 Saints, where I think Darrell Henderson is kind of the upgrade from John Kelly, who I was excited about once upon a time because I thought Sean McVay could find some neat ways to use him.
Unlike Butch Jones could at Tennessee.
Exactly. I think Darrell Henderson's the fun pass-catching Alvin Kamara type versus if Gurley's not there, I think we're seeing a lot of Malcolm Brown.
Yeah, I could see that. And on defense, obviously you do lose a couple of those players, but bringing in guys like Eric Weddle, guys like Clay Matthews, veteran guys, I think he'll help the defense out a little bit. And of course, you still have Aaron Donald there. I mean, what else do you need to say? Probably the best defensive player in the league.
I would say you have a top 3 pick for Depoy right off the top, no questions asked. At worst, he's going to finish 3rd.
Yeah.
And you add in Eric Weddle, who I'm not going to say anything bad about Eric Weddle. I love that man.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, I guess he's old. There you go. That's
Hey,
all I got.
if that's the worst thing you can say about anybody, that's fine.
Yeah. He's still awesome.
And I think he'll be good for the Rams. And they did draft Taylor Rapp out of Washington. Really good safety there. I think this Rams team will be fine. But yeah, it does all hinge on... It does help Jared Goff getting his favorite target back in Cooper Kupp. And it all depends on number 30 in the backfield. It depends on how healthy Todd Gurley is. So, moving on to the next team. And guys, this has your favorite college football player of all time, Nick Bosa. The San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, so Nick... Now, I believe I heard, like, he's hurt, which, I mean, for Bosa, that's not strange to hear. But...
Well, especially with his Ohio State injury, it was kind of... It was essentially a season ending. They just never wanted to say it for whatever reason.
Yeah. And so, he's out here. The 49ers... And I think they were a team that a lot of people were kind of, like, watching out for. Like, this team could be the dark horse. Of course, Jimmy G, that first game, goes out, tears his ACL. You bring him back. You do make some improvements on both sides of the ball. You do add some weapons. You do add Jordan Matthews, Deebo Samuel, who I really like as a potential target for that offense, along with Goodwin, and Kittle, and Dante Pettis. I like those weapons for Garoppolo. And of course, you got McKinnon in the backfield. You had Tevin Coleman, too. And then on defense, they really added some nice pieces there. Of course, adding Bosa was huge. Then you add some guys also up out. Quan Alexander, still him from Tampa Bay. And then you go out and get one of the best pass rushers on the market in D Ford. Get him away from Kansas City. So, guys, with all the Nick Bosa jokes aside, I think the 49ers have a chance to be a dark horse team to get into the wild card spot. What say you guys?
I'm not feeling it. I think my reasoning there is because so much was hurt last year that the season where they were supposed to be that breakout team just didn't happen. So we're kind of back to square one. So I think they're definitely going to be big. They're not going to be 4-12 again. I can tell you that much. They'll might hover around 500, finish a game above, but I don't know. Wild card's pushing it for me with the NFC.
I think they'll be. I think it really hinges on Jimmy.
Yeah.
If Jimmy G is the guy that everybody thinks he should be, they could be awesome. I think Breida is one you didn't mention, Ryan, in the backfield. He's a really, really exciting player when he's healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think between Goodwin and Pettis, I think they've got 2 really good receivers. Kittle's a monster.
Oh.
The offensive line is pretty good. I like that for them. So I'm kind of excited about the 49ers, but it's tough. Yeah, the NFC the NFC is tough. Mm-hmm. So I think I feel pretty good about having them second in the West behind the Rams. But will they be good? I think 8-8 to 9-7. And is 9-7 enough to get him in? I'm not sure it is.
Yeah. I mean, let's see. Who else do we have to cover the NFC to talk about? We still got the NFC East to talk about, and you got the Cowboys and Eagles in theirs. But, they do got a shot, I think, to somehow get in there. I don't know what I had them at. I think I had them around 9-7. I don't know. I forget. 9-7, 8-8. I had them around there. I'm saying they could be a dark horse to get in there. Did I have them making it? No. I think I had some other teams ahead of them. But I do think they have a chance, a slight chance of somehow sneak in there.
Yeah, look, Seattle snuck in last year. They ended up 10-6 actually. So if Seattle can go 10-6 last year, then I think San Fran definitely can this year.
You know what? Final thoughts on San Francisco. How many sacks does your favorite player Nick Bosa gets in his rookie year?
I think he gets 9.5.
Okay.
Is that assuming he's playing all games?
Will
he be ready for week 1? That's my big concern right now.
That's me baking in the possibility he misses time.
Okay. In that case, I'm just going to go with the safe assumption. Maybe he misses 2. I don't know when those are. Begin the season, scatter around. Give me 8.5 just to be safe.
Okay. I'll go around 8.5. Lows I'll go is 8. He's going to be a monster for him. He's going to help out, and it's only going to help out having D Ford across the other side from him.
I think they've got other guys that can get sacks too. I think this is a defense that has the potential to be really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And moving on to the last team, the Seattle Seahawks. Well, what does Seattle do? Well, the Legion of Boom is now over. No more Cam Chancellor. He's not there. Earl Thomas. He goes to Matt's Baltimore Ravens. I know you're happy about that.
Oh, yeah.
And so no more Legion of Boom. No more Doug Baldwin either. And Frank Clark, he went to the Chiefs. They do bring in Ziggy Ansah, Mike Ayupati. They drafted LJ Collier in the first round to help along that defensive line. And they get a big-time target, wide receiver out of Ole Miss, DK Metcalf, to help out with Russell Wilson, try to give him a new, fun target there. So Seattle, as you mentioned, Matt, they did sneak in last year at 10-6. I'm indifferent on the Seahawks. I don't know what to expect from them.
I think the Seahawks are a team that's not exciting at all. They're very boring. But at the end of the day, I think they're going to be pretty good. They'll be competitive in games. They'll win the games they should win, I think. And there's something to be said for that, because a lot of teams don't do that. Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
And I think the defense...
Beat me to it.
I think the defense, it doesn't have any of the big flashy names anymore. It only has KJ Wright and Bobby Wagner. That's really it now. But I just sort of feel like I trust the coaches, I think. I think that's what it kind of boils down to in Seattle. I trust the coaches to have this team ready to show up on Sundays, to be able to be competitive. The offensive line has made strides the past couple of years. They've got Russell Wilson, who's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. They've got a really good running game with Carson and Penny both. They lost Mike Davis, and I think that's going to be a big factor in Chicago, but I think Penny and Carson, mainly Penny taking a step forward and Carson kind of staying good, is going to help cover that. Tyler Lockett, if he can prove that he's a true number 1 receiver, I think they can make a little bit of noise, and I think they're going to be right there with the 49ers, I think.
Yeah, they do have some nice pieces there, and you're right that they are a boring team, but sometimes being boring is not bad.
The Ravens haven't been exciting in 2 decades.
It keeps you under the radar. That's what it does. It keeps you under the radar, and nobody's expecting it.
Yeah.
So the Seahawks, they're going to be interesting to watch, and of course, seeing Bobby Wagner's the only guy from that Legion of Boom defense that's still left.
KJ Wright.
Oh yeah, got KJ there.
Yeah, it's like KJ. But that is it though, those two.
Yeah. So Seahawks, they're going to be interesting. Of course, Russell Wilson, he also got a new deal this offseason. Peter, what do you think about the Seahawks this year? Or do you think that they can make it? They could sneak in a little bit here?
I'd say of all the teams from the NFC West that could sneak in, because I'm assuming the Rams win the division.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like them much more than I do the 49ers. I think that is because of the coaching. I mean, Pete Carroll, his whole career has just been inheriting problems and rebuilding and making dynasties. I think this is the second part. The last couple years were some temporary rebuilds. I think they have some pieces that can start shining here. About to say, as long as you got Russell, I'm definitely interested.
I agree with you there. I think if Tom Brady has taught us anything, if you have an elite quarterback, you have a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Running back situation, depending if it's Carson or Barber.
Barber.
I mean, who was that guy they drafted
Penny.
that we all made fun of? Penny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Penny or Carson. I mean, take your pick. It should be Carson, but they spent a lot of capital on Penny, so.
Well, I think it'll be very much an even split. I think they're both going to play a lot. I guess because Seattle's going to run the ball a ton.
Yeah.
That's what they want to do. Seattle wants to run the ball more than second most, I guess, behind the Ravens.
Yeah. So I guess that'll wrap it up for our NFL preview for the NFC West. Next week, we start with the AFC West, or as I call it, the division that's Tom Brady and 3 second-year quarterbacks.
Wait, did you say the West?
I said the AFC East.
No, you did.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure you did say the West, but we'll
Oh, doggone it!
That's what I was like. It's like, wow, did I miss Tom Brady getting traded?
Matt, you haven't been here for this, but I've been getting my divisions mixed up here.
Come on, Ryan.
I know. Listen. I'm making as many bad mistakes here as those 3 second-year quarterbacks are going to make.
Ouch, man. No love for Rosen, Allen, Darnold.
Well, except for Darnold. Darnold's all right.
I like Josh Allen.
What about the important church of Baker Mayfield?
That's a different division, Peter. Or that's a different second-year quarterback, Peter. We already talked about that church, all right?
What about Lamar Jackson if we're bringing up, AFC North quarterbacks here?
Yeah, Peter. Are we going to get a Church of Lamar Jackson started?
Yeah, I mean, it kind of be inappropriate to run two churches in the same division.
It would follow the Mormon religion.
Yeah.
The joke was there. I had to.
Yeah. All right.
Speaking of Mormons,
Hey.
we're going to the Pac-12.
Oh, boy.
What a transition.
See, that was good. There was no ad break.
No. I remember Utah still plays in the Pac-12, so there we go. Mormon jokes.
Hey. Hey, save them for next week too, Peter, since BYU is going to be part of the discussion.
Oh, don't worry. There'll be jokes.
All right. So, we're doing the Pac-12 this week. As we like to call it, we don't care about the other teams. All we care about is Arizona State. That's our only team.
We're
not going to we'll definitely not focus on pretty much every team because this is by far the weakest of the Power 5.
Yeah.
Like, honestly, it should just be Power 4 plus the Pac-12.
Ryan, you said that next week you're doing the AFC East. I really think you should have done that this week and really paired the two because much like how the AFC East has the Patriots and everybody else, well, obviously the Pac-12 has Arizona State and then everybody else.
That's true. So we're starting with the North since, according to Peter, you still got something special there for the South for Arizona State, right?
I mean, that's the whole show.
Yeah, keep listening.
Yeah. So we're starting with the North Division, and pretty much it's just Washington and Oregon. Now both teams are interesting. Oregon, they were a team that sparked a little interest there. They bring back Justin Herbert and Troy Dye. They're two quarterbacks on offense and defense. They bring them back after they were thinking about going to the NFL. They're coming back to
defense?
Well, the linebacker.
Oh my
Matt.
goodness! College football's dumber than I thought. Playing quarterbacks on defense. You know what? Now I get why people don't want the designated hitter. I guess.
What is this, a walk-on school?
But Oregon, they have told those two guys coming back.
Oh, real quick, I forgot my Oregon joke. Oregon, the school of 900 uniform combinations and 0 national championships. There we go.
Hey, there we go. Had to get that Oregon joke in there somewhere.
I hate Oregon.
Hey, that's where my favorite quarterback is from. Hey, don't hate.
Oof.
Don't hate on Mariota.
Not taking it back.
Save it for after the season, and we'll see how he does. All right, then we'll talk. But yeah, Oregon, Washington, they're the top two teams. Washington, you got Chris Peterson there, and you don't have some of the pieces there like Byron Murphy, who went to the Cardinals in the draft, and you don't have Jake Browning there, Myles Gaskin there on offense, but you do have Georgia transfer Jacob Eason going to be taking the starting role at QB for that team. That is going to be interesting to watch. Those two teams are clearly the cream of the crop in the Pac-12. You agree?
Yeah, but let's not forget there's a certain 11-2 team last year, also in that division, with one of our Mount Rushmore of college coaches, Michael Leach, at Washington State.
My man.
You know, every other league they have a playoff, but when it comes to us,
you know, I think the Pac-12 should just have its own playoff.
Yeah.
Mike Leach versus Herm Edwards for the championship. Oh man.
Well, how do we cheer in that circumstance?
Oh, yeah. Who would we pick?
I gotta go Herm. I think so. Because not to mention also that I feel like I get a better press conference out of Leach if he loses.
Yeah. Yeah. So Washington State, yeah, they're going to be an interesting team. They bring in Eastern Washington transfer quarterback Gage Gubrud to help kind of keep the offense going on all cylinders. But let me tell you something though about Washington State, you guys. They have road trips to Utah. Our favorite coach, Herm Edwards. Oregon, California, and Washington.
So
those are going to be very.
They play their own.
So
conference.
what you're saying is we're going to get Herm versus Leach
in the regular season. Yes,
that's the game. That's the game of the year when it comes to picking college games.
I tell you what, I can tell you one football game watched this year. Circle that thing on the calendar.
Oh, I'm just watching it just for the reactions on both sidelines. See who gets upset first. But those are going to be very.
Pac-12 network.
But those games are going to be very tough for Washington State to get back to where they were last year. It's 11-2. It's just remarkable for that program. And after that, I mean, who else you got? You got Stanford in the north.
Well, people are high on Stanford, which is kind of surprising because there's not a lot returning that's. I mean, of course, you know, KJ Costello. Yeah, he'll be.
Yeah.
But again, Bryce Love, he's gone. I mean, didn't really matter. He just he tanked hard last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a new thing. College players not wanting to go to these bad teams, they just tank their stats to run the possibility of going to a good team.
Oh.
It didn't even work out for him.
Two can play at that game. Yeah, the North is pretty much Oregon, Washington State, and Stanford. Cal sucks. Oregon State is just... They are last in defense in every ranking for the Pac-12. Yeah. They have the worst line, the worst linebackers, and the worst secondary. You do the math.
They're going to be bad.
They're going to be really bad.
Yeah. Listen, Matt's not the college football expert here. Those that have listened to the podcast know that. But even Matt knows that Oregon State's not going to be good.
You know what?
They also have the second to last worst quarterback and offensive line. Even more math.
Oof. They're going to be really bad. What team was this again?
Oregon State.
Oh, well, they sucked last year. Analysis. They went 2-10.
They're going to suck this year.
Why are we still talking about that?
You know what, Matt? Here's a new slogan for you. Is Oregon State playing a football game, then they will lose.
I like it.
Unless it was Southern Utah or Colorado. How did they beat Colorado?
That's
Wow.
I don't.
Jeez, Colorado.
I don't know about that. Oh man. So moving on to the north, and here's where things are going to get really crazy here towards the end. We're going to save the best for last. You guys know us.
Ryan,
so,
you said the wrong division again.
Ryan, you need to
moving on to
Doggone it! I did it again.
I quit drinking and podcasting, man. I'm gonna give you a PUI.
What can I say, guys? I got my mind on Herm right now. That's my reasoning for it. So the South, get it right there.
Yeah, let's just say. Speaking of Colorado, they suck. We can scratch them off.
Yeah, they have a couple interesting pieces, but yeah, pretty much.
They had hope at one point, and now they don't.
Yeah, back in the 80s or 90s, but yeah, Colorado, they're gonna be okay. But other teams in the South, you got Utah. You made the joke there, Peter, but they're bringing back some key pieces, primarily at quarterback and running back. Tyler Huntley and Zach Moss. They missed the final 5 games of last season with injuries. They got a new play caller, Andy Ludwig, that should help the offense there. And also, Utah's defense, they're pretty doggone good. They got a very deep defensive line, and they got a really good standout corner in Jalen Johnson to help out back there.
Yeah, people are really high on Utah. Like, I've been seeing a lot of projections where they're number 1 in the South, which
That's preposterous.
I know. I mean, I can see where they're coming from, but I mean, that's a huge jump from 9-5 last year.
Wait, wasn't 9-5 the best record in the South last year?
No. Did Utah win? I don't think Utah won.
Yeah, Utah did win last year.
Oh, okay.
It's still preposterous, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. Yeah.
But look at me, Matty Mo over here with the college football statistics for you.
Yeah. So, looking at some of the other teams in the South, let's start with UCLA. Chip Kelly there in year 2. The defense is bringing back 9 starters, and they got offense that can lean on running back Joshua Kelly until quarterback Dorian Thompson-Robinson can fully settle into the position. Year 2 at Chip Kelly, guys. Year 1 wasn't so great. Year 2, do we have any hope for Chip Kelly in year 2 at UCLA?
Well, he inherited a team that was 6-7 the year before, and then he went 3-9. So, I mean, he's basically returning this whole team. 9 on offense, 10 on defense. I mean,
I mean, you got experience.
Great.
Yeah, you got experience. You got experience going 3-9 last year. How's that? That doesn't mean nothing. I'm a Tennessee fan. But yeah, UCLA year 2, Chip Kelly. That's going to be interesting to watch at least to see how he manages in year 2. And then we got a couple other teams. Arizona. They're out there, but they're not the big team in Arizona we're concerned about. They're just there.
They'll be second to last. Move on.
I don't care about
and then
basketball.
This is the most dismissive we've been about a conference in a long time.
What are you talking about, Peter? This is the only conference I'm engaged in. This is one
building. The most dismissive we've been building up to a team, I should say.
Oh, okay. Because there are 2 conferences in all of college football that I really care about.
Because last week in the SEC, we could have just been like, Bama, move on.
That's true.
No,
you really should have.
That went on for like 10 hours.
Yeah. But Matt, you do understand. We had to talk about Orgeron.
Oh, of course. No Tigers.
There we go.
How can you not talk about the Tigers?
Hey guys, I'm doing a press conference. Thank you. Best bit about that, he says thank you at the end.
and then Matt, of course, we had to talk about Tennessee.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible, Ryan. Hey, you know what? Football thing. Hey, I have a college football thing for you. Did you talk about the Mizzou Tigers quarterback, Kelly Bryant?
Pretty sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just know that he's there.
Yeah.
He came from Clemson.
Yeah.
He was hurt.
Yeah. We talked about how Mizzou's not going to be able to play in the postseason this year.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But what they have anyway? Maybe, I guess. We have Kelly Bryant.
Yeah.
Look at me. I'm engaged in a college football conversation. But guess what else I'm engaged with?
Yeah.
The Arizona State Fighting Herms.
One more team, Matt. USC.
Freaking USC. Always in the way.
Yeah, always. Mr. Clay Helton led USC to their first losing season since, get this, 2000.
Oof.
2000.
Ugh. Who was on that team?
I don't think Carson Palmer was there yet. I think he came the next year, I think.
Yeah.
Because Palmer, I believe, was picked in 03.
Oh, man,
Actually,
hold
that
on.
might be Palmer's freshman year.
I don't know. It may have been.
I don't think he started, though.
Probably not.
Or maybe, who knows? USC was pretty bad in 2000.
He was probably hurt.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Carson Palmer was there.
Only Carson.
He was a sophomore.
Oh, really?
Wow. Oh, so he was playing.
Yeah, let me try to see who else is on this team. Nobody else I recognize. Oh, Troy Polamalu was on this team.
That's right. I knew there was somebody I was forgetting.
Oh, man. Yeah. Oh, yeah. He was a sophomore on this team, too.
How did that team suck? Polamalu and Palmer, you kidding me?
Well, Peter, they did have a bunch of other players that nobody knew. So.
Yeah, fair enough. But that's the majority of most college teams.
Right.
It's the stars and the guys who will be playing in the CFL hoping for a shot at glory they'll never get.
They have a freshman kicker on that team named John Wall.
Yeah, they did. Oh.
How is this team not, undefeated?
Well, Matt, don't kid yourself. John Wall, he's going to slip in his home.
Oh. To quote Peter Lewis, how did this team suck?
Well, to that question, they weren't playing their players yet, so you know.
Oh, that's true. So you couldn't bring in the real recruits yet.
No.
Yeah.
Not the Reggie Bushes of the world.
No.
Yeah. So, USC, Clay Helton, you do have rising sophomore JT Daniels to help lead the way. You do need a big-time jump from the offensive line and better play on defense. USC, they're a blue blood. They're going to be a team that everybody's going to be watching to see if they could get back to where they were back 15 years ago. And who knows from USC? It's kind of hit and miss with them. So, there's USC. Which, speaking of, guys, you want another blast from the past?
No, Ryan, I don't. I want to move on to Arizona State.
Well, this is a USC thing, too. Fox is doing a college football pregame show that's going to have Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, Brady Quinn, somebody else, and Urban Meyer.
Wow.
Talk about a team. Yeah, so you got two former USC. You got two former USC players, a former Notre Dame player, and you got the 2020 USC coach in Urban Meyer.
When scatback Reggie Bush is the best player you've got, I'm not that interested in your pregame show. And don't get me wrong, Reggie Bush was a perfectly fine scatback. He was a good receiver out of the backfield, but that's all he did for you.
Yeah. All right, guys, let's get to what we've all been waiting for. Arizona State.
The Fighting Herms.
12-0.
Oh,
Roll Herm.
undefeated. No question about it.
Undefeated. I don't care who they're playing. They could be playing Alabama. I don't care. They're winning.
Well,
They're
Ryan
winning it.
McDaniel, I just happen to have pulled up the list of victims. Up first, the first victim, Kent State. They're going to lose that game, I would guess, probably about 82-0. So get this, Game 2 versus Sacramento State, tickets as low as $5. $5 to see Herm Edwards coach. That's incredible.
Is there a better way to spend your Friday night?
Not that I know of.
No.
Now, week 3, this one's a tough one here. On the road, Michigan State, on Fox, so I can watch this game.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys, I think the Fighting Herms only win this game 35-0.
Oh.
I agree with you.
You know what? Remember, last year, Michigan State went to Arizona State's house acting like they were going to win, number 15 in the country.
Oh, of course.
Arizona State, with that victory,
I'm sure I called it.
Into Michigan State's house and beat them up.
Oh, they're going to wipe the floor with those Suns. So week 4, you might as well call it a bye week. They play Colorado.
Oh, even next week, it's be another bye week.
Yeah. On ESPN, so that way the whole nation can flourish and enjoy as the Fighting Herms stomp California.
Another Friday night matchup.
Another Friday night. People like the Friday night Herm.
Hey,
Now
yeah.
Saturday. This is a tough one, guys. If only if the Fighting Herms were to lose a single game all season. Now, I'm not saying they will. They probably won't. But if they did, October 12th against Washington State, I gotta tell you,
Oh man.
I'm thinking about this one. Tickets as low as $22 to see this thing, by the way. Freaking people fork it up, man.
Insulting.
I'll go to this game. I gotta tell you, I think I'm picking Arizona State to win this one by a tight score of about 28-10.
That's good enough for me.
You know what? They shouldn't even have a football game, which, with Matt knowing how you feel about college football, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, I could go for just like a Herm.
debate.
Yeah.
Debate between Herm Edwards and Mike Leach for an hour.
There is
about
nothing
how they would
I would rather see.
improve college football.
I would love that. They would have a playoff.
Yes.
They would have a playoff where you play to win the game.
The ultimate matchup. You got Mike Leach, who kind of mumbles, and then you got Herm, who's just super ecstatic and everything. There's a matchup.
That's the people want to see.
Yes.
So then the next victim is Utah. They go on the road to face Utah, defending champions because they fluked their way to a 9-5 record. Well, I got some news for you. Not this time. Arizona State, the Fighting Herms, they're gonna fight all over ya.
To do a wrestling thing, Utah, if you think you're going to beat Arizona State at home, I got some bad news for you.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Deep cut.
Well, I got some bad news for UCLA and USC because they're the next two victims. Get out of here, pretty boys.
Hey, Chip Kelly, that's for being racist, allegedly.
Oh, after that, the Herms truck
They're gonna go to Oregon State and pound that.
Oh no!
And then the next week,
What the duck is gonna happen next?
it's gonna be like in the Christmas Story when the restaurant workers just kill the duck in front of them.
And then they'll play a respectful football game and beat Arizona.
Brought up allegations against Chip Kelly. Saw my opening with a dirty joke.
Oh, poor Oregon.
Brought it back to Christmas. I don't have anything for Arizona. What is it mascot? The Wildcat or something like that?
Well, you could do something with the whole Adidas thing with them, right?
Oh yeah.
Why do I give you material?
That's a good question.
I hope Arizona State's a Nike school.
Oh yeah they are. I think so. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, Wildcats, High School Musical. They were the Wildcats. Like High School Musical, Arizona, you're about to get canceled.
Ooh.
Ooh.
And Herm Edwards is gonna sing High School Musical songs on your corpse.
I would love that so much. I would pay more money than I want to admit to watch that happen.
Herm Edwards is not gonna stop till he wins.
So Herm is gonna go through the regular season undefeated. He's gonna win the Pac-12 championship, and Matt, is he gonna beat Alabama?
Ooh, that's a tough one there, Bob.
I don't think here's the thing. Nick Saban has never faced someone with power levels like Herm Edwards.
This is true.
That is true.
Unlike, remember, Saban never made it to the playoffs in the NFL.
Oh,
Herm Edwards did.
Yeah, you're darn right he did.
And you know what? Here's the ultimate wild card here that can make up the decision, guys. Who's on Alabama's coaching staff right now besides Nick Saban? A certain guy named, I don't know, Butch Jones. Maybe you've heard of him?
I've heard that name once or twice.
Yeah, I tried to forget it, but here we are. That's the ultimate wild card, Matt. That cancels it out. Arizona State wins the title.
Obviously. I don't know how they don't.
Sorry, Nick Saban. You're not getting another one. Sorry.
You know what's funny for actual real analysis? Their losses last year weren't bad. 4 of them were by a touchdown. The other one was by 3 points.
I mean, when you've got her, man, what more can you ask for?
Arizona State was flukes away from maybe being undefeated.
That's a good point.
That's incredible. That's beautiful.
Oh, man.
That San Diego State loss, that one hurts. That one hurts.
Yeah.
So
you got to win that one.
But you know what? They don't have to worry about San Diego State this year.
There you go. And if you did...
They're lucky. They're lucky. Herm was coming for blood.
He was going to get vengeance.
Oh, man. I can't wait for it. The season of Herm Edwards, everybody. This is it.
Every season is the season of Herm Edwards. We're currently in the season of Herm Edwards.
Yeah.
And it's the summer.
Question is, what happens if Arizona State actually does win the title?
Well,
what do we do?
Then I throw a personal championship parade, obviously.
Cool. I'm down.
I feel like we have to cancel college football at that point, because how do you top that? How do you top that?
I mean, we never have to do these picks again.
No.
We just gotta wait for Orgeron or Leach to win one.
Matt, do you remember how you fell in love with Herm? It's because I said if he beat Washington, we would cancel college football, and that's how it started. You have my word. If Herm Edwards wins the national championship this year, we will never talk about college football in any capacity again.
Well, the problem with that, though, Peter, is if Herm Edwards won the championship, that's all I'd want to talk about. I'd be in.
Yeah. Ooh, now you're trapped in your hatred for college football.
No, it's not hatred. I tell you what, I have really come to appreciate it and almost enjoy it. And I'm dare I say, I am mildly looking forward to some college football this year.
Hey,
I'm looking forward to SEMO. SEMO's
outside
fun.
of Herm?
SEMO. I'm looking forward to SEMO because they're good. I think that helps too. Because like my personal experience, outside of the NFL, I have never had good football experience for 24 years of my life. And then last year I did. You know, SEMO was good. I enjoyed going out and shooting high school games. You know, so I think that was part of it.
Yeah. How about that? Matt, please tell me you're going to hope for my UT team to win some games this year and hope for me to be happy.
No,
don't push it.
Because I love your pain, Ryan.
Pain equals ratings.
Yeah.
You know what? I agree with you, Matt, because it gives me more opportunities to use your Tennessee Angry Bird.
Look, Ryan, Peter won an NBA championship. We can't get too crazy here.
Waited years for that championship. What can I say? Long time coming.
You didn't even wait a year. It happened before you were a fan.
Irrelevant.
You waited negative a week.
Sounds like someone salty their Spurs didn't win it.
Oh,
just doesn't want to share. Because you know what? We took your golden boy, and we gave him another championship.
I remember why I quit coming on this stupid show. Freaking Peter Lewis.
You know what, Matt? Here's something to make you happy. Go watch Manu catching some bats. Go find YouTube videos of that. That'll bring a smile to your face. Oh, all right. That's going to do it for this week's show, everybody. Next week, for college football, the non-Power 5 schools plus SEMO. And then, week after that, we'll make our final predictions. I think there's actually a game next week. I think Miami and Florida are playing. So
yeah, next Saturday for some stupid reason. So, do we have to get the list ready already?
Oh, man.
Oh, no. That sounds like a Price is Right game.
Hey, I'm here for Price is Right games.
Hey, if that's the only big game going on that weekend, why not? It's going to be like the Army-Navy game we had last year. So that's going to be the next couple weeks of college football. And then next week for the NFL, we'll take a look at the AFC East, then the NFC East, August 28th, and then on September 4th, the day right before the real games get started with the Bears and Packers, we'll do our NFL final predictions and also make our picks for that week as well. So football season's coming rapidly, guys. It's getting close. We're almost here to actual football. So,
I can't wait.
I can't wait either. There's no better time like it.
Heartland Football Friday starts off 1 week from Friday.
Hey, the season's getting started for you. It's getting started for everybody. So I'm happy football's back. I know everybody else is. I can't wait to get to the real stuff here with these next few months. So, and it's going to be different from last season to this year because after we get done with the Super Bowl, we're presumably going to have the XFL. Yeah.
Oh boy.
What's up, Vince McMahon?
What's up, Cole Cabana? Oh, Lord.
So, that'll do it for this week's show, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can go check us out on Twitter at Views from 573 Podcast. Again, go check out our YouTube channel, Podcast from the 573. Guys, where can people find you at on social media?
I am at Real Matt Mormon on Twitter.
I am the actual Peter on Twitter.
And I am at, with anything that actually indicates I'm the real or actual person, at Ryan Views 573. I somehow just now noticed that.
How are people going to know that's actually or really you?
That's a fair question.
I may now have to make Ryan567, account and fake you. Pretend to be Ryan McDaniel, and I love Butch Jones.
Oh man, you're crossing the line there.
No, that's so you gotta verify yourself, man.
Man.
There's a fake Matt Mormon out there saying he loves the Cleveland Browns. But people know
no, Matt. No, Matt. There's a fake Matt Mormon out there that hates Herm Edwards.
Oh, that tool! How could he?
Man.
Thankfully, that's when people would realize, oh, this is a fake account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's at that point
So,
they turn it off.
So be sure to go follow us on all those accounts, everybody. One last thing before we wrap up here. Peter, DCEU pod, when are we going to get to that?
Hopefully sometime early next week. I think we can start recording. I just got to get my schedule in check, but yeah, it's pretty much part one at least is getting ready.
Hey, there we go. It's been a long time coming for that, so hopefully we'll get on that in the meantime next week. So that'll do it for this week's Views on the 573 podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. And with all that said, we will talk to you guys next time. One, two, three. All right. I think we're good to go.
All right.
I slapped the out of that. I completely forgot how to snap my fingers yesterday.
I never learned.
Oh.
Neither did I. I just kind of had to figure it out.
Yeah,
But clearly, I'm 50-50, so clearly it's not working all the time. So
Why did Thanos
Thankfully,
give you the gauntlet then?
well, it just, just a lot of attempts until I got it right.